Going on YouTube, it's your boy Cameron, back at it again with a Battlefield video. And in today's video, man, we're talking about 2020, the future of Battlefield 5, what I think is coming in this year, because the newest Battlefield is scheduled to come out, I believe, in 2022. I could be wrong, so that gives us 2 years of Battlefield 5 content. But here's what I think is going to happen in 2020. So Chapter 6 came out last week on a Thursday, and I think what Chapter 6 is going to include is obviously the new weapons, and I think maybe one more map. Hopefully, I'm thinking about maybe like a New Guinea map or something in that region because it's very jungle terrain, or like a Peleliu map or something like that. I think that's definitely on the horizon because they'll easily add another map because there's so many German-British maps that I think it will be unfair to not at least have one more Japan-America map. But that will probably come out sometime in March, hopefully. They haven't announced anything official. All of this is just speculation. But I hope another map does come out for this Into the Jungle chapter, because I'm a big fan of this jungle warfare, man. Solomon Islands is one of the best maps in the game, if not the best. So I hope they would continue this trend in releasing, cool jungle maps, at least throughout the chapter. I'm hoping for one more. If they give us 2 more, hallelujah. But one more, I think, will be good enough. I think like a Peleliu or like a New Guinea map would be very interesting to see. And then after March 26th, that obviously leaves us with Chapter 7. This chapter is very short. It's only like 7 weeks. Usually the chapters are like 2 or 3 months. This one's really only, let's be real here, a month, because February is a short month. But Chapter 7, what I think is going to be is either a Western Front chapter or an Eastern Front chapter, maybe a Western Front chapter because they already have voice actors for both Germany and the US, so they can just make Western Front maps and put that in the game. But I'm actually hoping for an Eastern Front chapter, and that's what I think will happen. I think Chapter 7 is going to be a huge update, just as big as the Pacific update we saw with Chapter 5. I think we're going to get 2 or 3 maps at launch, maybe 2 maps at launch, because just like we did with the Pacific War, we got Iwo Jima and Pacific Storm. I think we're going to get something like that. I think we're going to get like a Stalingrad map and just some like winter, like Narvik-esque map, but in Russia. I think that'll be very, very, very cool. And then just like Wake Island, they'll remake an old map from like Battlefield 1942 or Battlefield 1943, and they'll put that in the game. I think that'll be awesome because we do need Soviet Union in the game versus Germany. That's a big part of the war. You can't have a World War II game without that side of the war. So I think they should definitely add it. And they did have it in Battlefield 1942 way back when that was the first Battlefield game. So I definitely think that's on the horizon, should be coming out in 2020. And they'll add cool weapons like the PPSH and stuff like that. Iconic Soviet weapons, obviously, and some more German weapons, possibly. But hopefully that comes out. And then that will last about 3 months. And then Chapter 8, in my opinion, will just be like Into the Jungle. You get 1 or 2 more Soviet maps. Very short chapter, like a month and a half, something like that. And then you go Chapter 9, which will introduce the Western Front. You'll have D-Day, Con, all this stuff, cool shit like that. I think that's definitely on the horizon. Because if they don't add that also, they're missing out. I've been adamant on saying that Battlefield 5 wasted far too much time on the British, German stuff. That should not have taken a year. That should have been maybe 2 or 3 chapters, not 4. I think that they should have had just 2 or 3 chapters of the British, German stuff, and then jumped into Pacific, and then jumped into the Soviets, and then jumped into Western Front, and then back to the Pacific, and then fall of Germany, and then fall of Japan. I think that's really what should have happened, but obviously they're far behind schedule. I believe the new Battlefield is coming out in 2022, so hopefully we still have 2 years of Battlefield 5, because I've been adamant on saying this. I really do enjoy Battlefield 5. It's an awesome game. We haven't seen a World War II game with this much different factions and stuff in a while, so I want to enjoy it, and I want them to put as much content as they possibly can, because if they're not releasing content at all in 2021, because I believe the new Battlefield is supposed to come out in 2022 in March, but it could also be 2021. So I don't know. I could be wrong there. Correct me in the comment section below. But I hope that we at least have 2 more years of Battlefield 5. So back to what we're actually talking about. Chapter 10 will be like Western Front, stuff like that. Then, we'll have another chapter for Western Front, which is like Battle of the Bulge, stuff like that. And then towards the end of the year, we'll return back to the Pacific to have like Okinawa, stuff like that, 2 or 3 maps there. And then we'll get 2021, which we're not talking about in this video because that's not in the roadmap. That's a year from now. But that's my speculation. I really hope that happens because, like I've said before, Battlefield 5 needs to get on this shit. It's been a while in the making, They can't just dilly-dally and just start adding just Japan stuff. Or this could be another thing that's happening if, 2022 is the release date of the new Battlefield, then probably 2021 will be all Soviet shit or something like that. Because I don't really want that because we need to have the Western Front. We need to have the Eastern Front. We need to have more Pacific content. We need to have a lot more in this game. This game is already feeling much, much better update by update. They did fix a lot of the annoying stuff in 5.2. For example, they got rid of the terrible spotting mechanic. 5.2 introduced probably the worst spotting mechanic ever. You would get spotted and the enemy would know exactly where you are, exactly where you're moving, exactly where you're looking. It was far too overpowered. And then they changed it back to the little red diamond, which they can't see where you're looking, but they just see where you are, which I think is fair. But the little triangle where they know exactly where you're going, exactly where you're looking, where they have a fucking orbital VSAT or a damn advanced UAV, that was far too powerful. And they're changing weapon balancing every single update, but I still just think they need more content on the World War II side of things. They need more factions, they need more weapons, they need more vehicles, they need more planes, they need more maps, they need more fronts, they need more and more World War II stuff. So I think every chapter should have at least 3 maps. At least. I think they should be just churning this stuff out. Because, there's a lot of maps they could pick from old Battlefield games. I saw some things on Battlefield 5 Reddit where they wanted a China versus Japan thing, and they could just use the Siege of Shanghai map from Battlefield 4, remake it, add some World War II textures, make it look like World War II era China, and then boom, there you go, a map. Siege of Shanghai is obviously a fan favorite. They could easily do that. Or they could just remake certain maps, like what Call of Duty does. Call of Duty, just remakes maps. They remade Vacant, they remade Shipment, and they just put them in the game. So I think that this Battlefield can do that too. Who cares? Remake some fan favorites from Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 1, stuff like that, and just add it in periodically. Because remaking maps is not as hard as, making brand new maps. Because you just have to apply the textures, stuff like that. There you go. New map. So I think that's what they should also be doing alongside with making brand new maps. I think they should be churning out maps, remakes, stuff like that, and just throwing them out there. That's my opinion. Make sure they're good. Don't give us some shitty-ass remakes. But just remake the map. Who cares? Step by step. Legit. Like what they did in the old Call of Duty games. I remember there's a map in World at War called, Cliffside. It was, Japan versus America. It was one of the best maps I've ever played in that game. I love that map. And they remade it in Black Ops, legit, step by step. It was the exact same map, but instead of a Japanese cliffside with bunkers and stuff like that, it was a fucking golf course. They can easily do that, for example, with Siege of Shanghai. Add some World War II era Chinese buildings, make it look like the 40s, and then there you go. Boom, new map. They could do that. Easily they could do that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm not concerned. I'm wondering what you guys think. With that all being said, this is your boy Cameron. Thank you all for watching. I am out.